A quick correction before we get started. I had a non-combat move for Italy, which was Libya to Tobruk. But what he meant to do, and this was a mistake from turn one, he meant to leave a guy in Tobruk when he moved them to Libya. So there should have been a guy in Tobruk there. So what I'm going to do is, what he wants me to do is move him from Tobruk to Libya. So that's going to fix that. Okay, so now on with your regularly scheduled programming. Okay, we're going to do the ANZAC Canada and France turns next. Canada has $7. They're going to buy an infantry and an artillery. The ANZAC forces have $14 to spend. They're going to buy a destroyer for 8 and 2 infantry for 6. Obviously the French can't buy anything. The Canadians and the Aussies have no attacks, but interestingly the French have 2 attacks. So here's what we're going to see here. The cruiser from C-Zone 96 is going to go into C-Zone 95 and attack this transport. Now what I've just heard from Mr. Mister is that he is going to scramble both of those planes into the C-Zone to attack the cruiser. But then the destroyer from C-Zone 81 and the destroyer from C-Zone 96 are going to come into C-Zone 97. There is no scramble into that C-Zone, so that's an auto kill. So again, I'll show you what these battles look like in a sec. Okay, this is the battle for C-Zone 95. I figured he was going to do this in one of the C-Zones or the other, but he has scrambled both of his fighters. The French cruiser Algérie is attacking the Italian transport ship Victoria, but 2 fighters have scrambled from southern Italy. I don't think I can win this battle, but I am going to try and take out one of his planes, so I really, really, really need a hit with this. So let's see. Hit! So I got a plane. Let's see if he gets me. He should. 2 4s. So the transport is safe, but I did kill one of his fighters, so that was expensive. Okay, C-Zone 97. This is an auto kill, but we have the Italian transport ship Oceania against the 2 French destroyers Verdun and Le Fortune, and there is no roll here because the transport is by itself and has no defense, so it is sunk to the bottom of the sea. Okay, let's get to all the non-combat moves. The Canadians are going to load up their infantry and artillery onto their transport, and they're going to sail from C-Zone 106 to C-Zone 109. The infantry and the tank that are already on the British transport are going to offload into the United Kingdom and bolster the defense of the home island there. Okay, let's go down this way. The French infantry in French Central Africa is going to continue moving east to French Equatorial Africa. And then some of the forces in the Middle East are going to move around a little bit. The 2 Canadian infantry in Egypt are going to move up into Transjordan. The French infantry in Transjordan is going to move to Syria. And then the Aussies have some moves over in the Pacific. The Australian fighter is going to move from Malaya to Burma and bolster the defenses there. And the ANZAC infantry in Malaya is going to move up to Shan State. Down here, the ANZAC infantry on Java is going to get onto the transport and move into C-Zone 41 and claim Sumatra from the Dutch. Also, in New South Wales, the infantry that was recruited last turn is going to get onto a transport ship, and it's going to move 2 spaces up into C-Zone 45, and it's going to claim Dutch New Guinea from the from the Dutch as well. Now, in terms of other movements, the only other movement we have is the cruiser from 54 is going to move back into Sea Zone 62. The destroyer that's in 54 is going to stay there as a bit of a blocker. He might take a poke at me with that Navy, but I think I've got enough in Queensland to repel that assault if he tries to come in. And even if he takes it, I think I can take it back with the Americans, so we should be okay there. Okay, so I think that's all the movement. So give me a second to tidy up the board, and we'll come back with placements and money. Okay, the Canadians only have one place to place things. That's Quebec. So the infantry and the artillery are going in there. In terms of income, Canada still collects $7 and has no bonuses yet, although they have a shot at getting their bonus next turn if all goes well. Remember, France doesn't collect any money. The ANZACs are going to place their 2 new infantry in New South Wales, where they have to place them, and they're going to place their new destroyer in 62. In terms of the income, they started the turn at 14, and they're going to go up 1 for Dutch New Guinea, and they're going to go up 4 for Sumatra. Okay, so that means they're at $19. So that's what they're going to collect this turn, is 19. No bonuses, because their bonuses don't start kicking in until they're at war with Japan. So let's start over here in the Pacific, and we'll do the disposition of forces. The Aussies have a single infantry in New Zealand. They have a destroyer and a cruiser in Sea Zone 62 and a destroyer in Sea Zone 54. They have 2 infantry in New South Wales. They have in Queensland 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, and 2 New Zealand fighters. In Dutch New Guinea, there's an infantry, and in Sea Zone 45, there is a transport. In Sumatra, there is a single infantry, and in Sea Zone 41, there is a transport. Oops, I didn't move these. In Shan State, there is an infantry, and in Burma, there is an Australian fighter. So that is actually all of the Australian forces on the board right now. As we're going by, we'll do the French and the Canadians in Africa. France has a single troop in French Equatorial Africa. Canada has 2 infantry in Transjordan, and France has an infantry in Syria. France has 2 destroyers convoying Sea Zone 97 and the Italians. For now. I mean, they won't necessarily be there next turn, but for now they're convoying the Italians. And the only other French infantry on the board is the single infantry that's left in Morocco. France also has, in the UK, they still have a fighter. Canada in the UK has 2 infantry, 1 tank, and 1 artillery, plus a transport in Sea Zone 109 with that British transport. Way there over in Quebec, there is an infantry and an artillery. And I think, if I haven't missed anybody, that's all of the Canadian, French, and ANZAC units on the board. So we will move the turn marker from, that's really blurry, sorry about that, from 2 to 3, because Germany 3 is up next.